Okay, first test shots with my brand new Remington RP9. For comparison, I have my old Glock 17 Gen 2. The magazines are loaded from the top. Lead round nose 125 grains, hollow point 115, hollow point 115, hollow point 147, ZQ, Winchester ball, and the rest is stacked to the full capacity. Winchester white box, which means at my old Glock magazine 16 I can't get in number 17, and here it's full 18. Let's see how it works. So, slightly out of battery. Again, slightly out of battery. That was the 115, check it out, point. Out of battery. Now we are coming to CQ ammo. So mine doesn't seem to like hollow points, in contrast to the others who didn't like full metal jackets. Okay, second try. This time the first magazine is loaded up to 18 rounds with that 147 Fiocchi jacketed hollow point. The second magazine I could not go beyond the 12th round. Round number 13 I can't force it in by any means. So the first magazine had that issue too, but it worked after a while. I can't do this with the second magazine, but I had the same issue with my Korean brand new Glock magazine, which I cannot fill up beyond 15 rounds, even though it's a 17 rounder. So let's see how it's doing this time. Yeah, you can see out of battery. Same thing, out of battery, no simple malfunction drill here. Same thing. I'm curious to see if you have to go through the whole magazine like this. No, it was out of battery, but I got it solved. And you can see again, out of battery. Same thing, out of battery. Now, out of battery but solved. Same thing, out of battery. battery, but solved. This ain't gonna make fun here. Oh, last round. Okay. It definitely does not like the 147 grain. I give the second 12 rounder a chance. Same story. I just maybe I should be lucky that there were not more than 12 rounds in that magazine. I can't simply detect why it is not going into battery, because it has chambered the round, but wow. Well, you see me trigger jerking, okay, that's what it is good for. Last round, bolt hold open, does not work. This is another issue I will refer to later. Fun is different. Well, it became pretty soon obvious why the RP9 did not fully chamber the hollow points. The throat of the barrel is simply too short, an issue that was reported from the R51 as well. Taking the Glock barrel, putting in one of those hollow points, that's the 147, pressing it in, it simply jumps out. There it is. The same with the Remington barrel, just slightly pressure, and it does not come out because it starts to seize up in the beginning rifling. Same for this one. Remington barrel, it's catching in the throat. Same story here. So this assembly needs to get a bit used to at the Remington. Take out the magazine, pull back the slide, check the chamber, rotate the takedown lever, and now you can't move the slide forward because you have to pull the trigger first. Very old-fashioned. Yeah, all guns, modern guns that have a takedown lever automatically decock the gun, so you don't have to pull the trigger for that procedure. Okay, we do this, and then this happens. The slide is catching on the disconnector bump of the trigger bar. So keep the trigger pulled, and then you get this apart. A better way of disassembling. So, same procedure, release the slide and just slightly muzzle down, pull the trigger. Okay, that's taking off the slide from the frame. Reassembly is a little bit awkward too. If you are lucky, you do not catch on this part of the trigger bar and not on that silly, I don't know why this is moving other than to fool the user, the ejector. And then again you're catching on the disconnector bump of the trigger bar. Just go slightly over it, you see it's not parallel to the frame now, then push down on the slide and this works. Yeah, if we compare that with the Glock, take the slide, align the frame with the slide, and then it's simply, and it's assembled. That is slick, and sorry, the Glock is still the benchmark. Okay, now to the not always working slide stop. For the purpose I just use an empty shell. I think it's easier to see that way. Insert the magazine. Try to keep it open, that you can see it better. So it's here almost visible that the magazine follower is overriding sometimes the tab of the slide stop. I'll disassemble the gun so it's easier to see. There we go. Actually happens here is the last round in the magazine, here's an empty shell for better visibility, is about like this. Then the slide goes back, the follower is tilting in this way. I hope you can see this here now, that the tab of the slide stop is in front of the follower. It's not at the surface that it is supposed to engage. Here. This tab of the slide stop should actually be here. It's simply too short. And regarding the not working left hand slide release, I think this is more an issue of too much play. This part wobbles on its axis. This is the trigger pin way too much in all directions, and I think it's more an issue of having too much play than flexibility of the part itself. So maybe a tighter fit, larger pin might cure this.